Hi everyone. As you know, Coldwell Banker Elite invests a considerable amount of time and effort into your development as a business professional. You are an entrepreneur, and as such, you have a duty to your own brand to plan for your success, create your own goals, and hold yourself accountable to them. The leadership team at Coldwell Banker Elite functions as your mentor and accountability partners. And with those two truths in mind, we found that we needed a platform to help us help you better achieve the best coaching and accountability that we could. For those reasons, we have partnered with CoachSimple to create a unique tool to help you achieve your goals. Some of you may remember that we attempted to use this system years ago, but it wasn't quite what we needed at the time. From that time until now, they've actually come a long way, and we're pretty happy with the results. And we hope that you'll invest some of your time and utilize this awesome tool. If you're serious about your success, we know that you'll love the CBE CoachSimple platform and what it can do for you. So let's take a quick look and jump right into the CoachSimple system. So we're going to start with EliteScoop.com. And when you get to EliteScoop.com, you're going to go over here to quick login links, search for CoachSimple, and click the button. And when you do, you're going to be landing on this login page. Now, this is kind of important and also very cool. Instead of giving you yet another login to have to remember, we are simply using the login that you use for mycbdesk.com. So when I go here to log in, mine, for example, is matthew.rathman@Coldwell-Banker. You would have your own, whatever was assigned. If you can't remember what your Coldwell Banker, not your Coldwell Banker Lead, but your Coldwell Banker MyCBDesk login is, contact your admin. They'll be happy to give you the username and walk you through the password reset. When I log in, again, I'm going to be logging in through the single sign-in option, not the CoachSimple login, because that is for outside users. For our internal use, we'll sign in through Coldwell Banker single sign-in login, SSO, which is going to be using your Coldwell Banker login. When you log in, you'll come to your dashboard. This is your landing page where you're going to see two things here. On the left-hand side, you're going to see your gross commission income. This is this year in the blue and last year in the gray. Now, this is a training account, so we don't have yet last year data right now to show, but you would see another bar graph right next to the blue one showing where you were at each month last year. Now, this data pulls right out of the Coldwell Banker Dash system. So in other words, this is not things that we manually enter here. This is going to be real-time data. As transactions closed and reported to Coldwell Banker, you're going to see the numbers reflected here. It usually takes about a day or two to see that, but no longer, it will be updating throughout the day. So as soon as that information is uploaded for the transaction, we don't have to go into CoachSimple and upload it again. It comes right from Coldwell Banker's reporting system. So you'll see over here your gross commission. Again, you'll see two things, this year's data and last year's data, so you can see where you're stacked and where you're progressing compared to behavior last year. Over here on the right, you're going to see your business plan, and you can look. And again, this data is not, this is a training account, so I don't have last year's data, but we have entered some data for this year. So let's say that our agent in this case, or where you log in, you'll see your 2021 business plan, that your average sales price is $350, and I'll show you where to enter that in just a bit. That your goal for yourself this year was 17 closed transactions because you really wanted to make $150,000 aggregated gross commission income, right? That's what you're going to be your gross taking home. And so we'll look at that. This shows you where you are, or this agent is, and progressing towards that. Her goal was 17 closed transactions. She's done 5, which means she's 29% of the way to her end of year goal for her production. She has made $60,000. Therefore, she is 40% towards the goal that she had at $150,000 AGC at the end of the year. So again, she had 17 goals set in mind, or 17 transactions, $150,000. She's actually only 30% of the way through her number of units, but she's 40% of the way through her financial goals, which means more than likely her average sales price is higher, her average commission may be higher, and so she's trucking right along and progressing pretty well there. Down here in the left-hand quadrant, you're going to see the goals, your activity tracker rather, and your goals. Over here you have set, or your broker has set for you, 6 daily phone calls, follow-up phone calls, business creation phone calls. This isn't managing the transaction you have at hand. Remember, about 20% of a successful agent's day is spent prospecting for new business. And so whether it's we don't do a lot of cold calls, but doing warm calls, following up on a lead, that would be your phone call. So let's say I did 2 of those so far today. I'm going to put 2 in there. You'll notice right here, we have a point system for each one of these daily activities. Social connections, I've connected with 2 people today and talked to them about real estate or my business. I've sent 3 letters out, which were 5 points apiece. And you can see that I am now adding the number of activities multiplied by the number of points per activity. And down here at the bottom is showing me where I am towards my daily goal. So let's say I did 3 handwritten business generating letters, or follow up with past clients asking for business. I did 2 social connections where I actually talked to someone. This isn't social media, that comes down here. And then I've made 2 phone calls to folks asking for business or thanking them for referrals. I've sent, let's say I sent 5 emails today to people asking them to follow up and give me business. I've set 3 appointments for this week. I'm now down here to 56 of my 100-point goal, as each one of these have certain points. And then tonight I'm going to attend a networking event with my community services group, my SPCA volunteering, whatever it is. And I also have a listing appointment I have set for tomorrow. And now you can see I'm very easily almost reaching that 100 points. I'm at 81 points throughout the day. Each day, this is going to track your activity of what you've done in that day to create more business for yourself. And it creates a report. And at midnight, it resets. And so you'll see here the date and the time, the date and the day of the week in which you've made these business efforts. Over here is an interaction dialogue between you and your broker or your mentor, depending on whether you're a new agent or an experienced agent. And so you can go ahead and add, need more time spent discussing farming. And you put this in here because this is something you need to do, and you can go ahead and post this. And now you can hide the task if it's just for you and you don't want your broker to see it, but brokers are also given a digest of what interaction each of you have had with them. So if you put that in there, there's probably gonna be a follow-up from your broker going, hey, I just saw you made a note in here, let's follow up on that. Now remember, your coaches, being your broker or mentors, can also go into this system. They can also add comments or action items for you to do and for you to work on, and then you would just check them here. Also down here, there may be focus videos. So your managing broker or a coach or somebody you're working with may have assigned a video and said, hey, there was a video that was done on farming. I'm going to assign it here so you can go and watch it, make it easier for you to find, and also so we both know when you've completed that task. And then lastly, on this dashboard over on the right-hand side are the number of things you need to do. Now, of course, brand new agents are going to have a lot of things to do and a lot of things, basic things they need to work on. For those of you who are more experienced, you're going to have things that you and your broker during your last coaching session met on and was assigned to you to go and complete. And you can go here and say, okay, this task, whatever, I entered my sphere of influence into Zap, for example. I'm halfway done. When you click on the circle, you can then go and click on the circle that reflects your progress being made. So if you're halfway done, I'm going to click on the halfway moon or the half moon symbol here. You can also set a date and go, I really need to get this done for myself no later than March 31st. Now you'll be sent alerts and reminders about these business generating tasks and business tasks that you need to do, and you've set yourself your goal. I would strongly suggest you put a reasonable goal for all these things to be done, and I don't mean saying they all need to be done by next Saturday. That's silly, no one's going to do that. But say, I really, over the next 30 days, I want to make sure these tasks are complete. Again, when you and your broker meet, you may have actually assigned or the broker may have assigned for you certain tasks to help you to keep on track and to hold you accountable for a certain time period. So that's it. That's your dashboard. So right here, it's very simple. What is your commissions earned between last year and next year side by side? Where are you in your goals here? What tasks do you need to remind yourself to do or do you want help with? what activities have you done today? So ideally you would log into this every single morning, every single business morning, every day you were working, to keep track of what you're doing. Now, let me just remind you, this is for, you are only cheating yourself if you don't put accurate numbers in here. So if you are, for whatever reason, looking at this and going, I only did 40 points today. That's okay. You did 40 points. That's great. Your goal is 100. Hopefully you'll get there. But it is important for you to do this each day so you, in the long run, when we look at a report in a minute, can see what is actually converting for you and what have you done or not done. As a reminder, and I am big into checklists and tasks logs and keeping track of my time and how I'm doing things, I will tell you from personal experience that the more I've used systems like this, the more I have found that, you know what, for 3 days, I haven't sent any handwritten notes out. And I start to realize that if I want to stay in business, if I want to be successful in my role, I need to go back and do that. And this serves as a reminder of what I'm not doing as much as what I need to do to keep myself more accountable. Right? These tasks we have entered in here are because we know these generate business for you. So this was done to help you. This is not, there's no disciplinary action. We're not kicking you to the curb. We're not sending your license back. This is for you to be able to keep an honest diary of what your activities are and what you've been doing. Now, this is this is your goal. This is your dashboard where your goals are set. To change and modify a goal, let's say that you look at your goals and go, 17 units, I thought by the end of the year, man, it's a killer year. Business is just going crazy. My AGC is much higher than I thought. I think I can do some more. You can adjust these things. And you're gonna do that by going up here to Update Plan. So I'm gonna click on Update Plan. And then this takes you through a series of pages and worksheets to make adjustments. Now, in this particular training model, I want to start at the bottom here, and by default, it says 3%. Well, the reality is, especially right now with commission crunches, we're not really realizing 3% per side. And so I like being a little bit more conservative in these numbers. So I'm putting 2.5% here so that I am, that's more reasonable. It's probably closer to what I'm going to get. If I get a few 3% sides, awesome. That's going to make my AGCs look better and I'll get to my goals faster. But I want to account for my final goal, which is to be 150,000 with gross commission income at the end of the year. I'm going to assess each unit is going to have 2.5% per side. My commission split is 70%. And just, this is going to be an estimate. Wherever you are closest in there, you decide what you want to put in there. So again, if you're doing let's say you're at 80% commission, but you're doing 50% in real, just to be conservative and average the two out. This is not going to be hard numbers and every transaction with every little bit that you may negotiate at some point. This is just going to be a good average to keep you on track. We're just looking for some good goals numbers here. So I look at this and realize this is going to tell me my previous year, so that when I'm setting goals, I know not to go crazy. If I only did 60,000 last year, 150,000 this year, that's a pretty lofty goal. That's pretty aggressive. Not undoable. Matter of fact, it's actually very achievable. Business is up this year. Maybe you've got better skill sets than last year. You've gotten rid of that part-time job, and now you can focus on it. So don't be scared of setting big goals, but make sure they're reasonable so that each month when you're looking at it, you're not depressed and just stop using the system because your goals are too high. Make reasonable and achievable goals here. Now, your average sales price can change. Let's say you've just found yourself and your farm is taking off and your average sales price is going up about $375. That's great. When you adjust, if you noticed, automatically down here, it adjusts to the number of units. Remember I said here, I want to make 150,000. Let's say that I'm going to adjust this and say, I'm going to make 165,000. So 165,000 is my new financial goal. My average sales price is $375, average commission side is 2.5, and my average commission split is going to be 70%. And this tells me here I need to do 18 units in order to get there. And if I adjust this instead, and I start going 19, it says, okay, well, then you're going to be making 178,000. So I'm going to go back to 18 units at an average sales price of $375 at 2.5% and 70%. This is telling me I'm going to make about 168. Just good for ease of use here. I'm changing that number back to 165, and I still need to do 18 units. I'm going to hit save and continue. And when I do that, it's going to automatically take me to the next page. And the next page is going to say, it's going to update from what I did in the previous page. And I'm going to look at this and it says, okay, well, here's the deal. You need to set how many of those 18 units you need to do, how many are listings, how many are buyers. So I'm going to adjust this and say, I only really want to work with 7 buyers because they're so time consuming, maybe 6 this year. I really want to focus on my listing inventory. And you notice that as I adjust down the buyer numbers, that adjusts up the listing sides. So now I need to do 12 listing sides in order to meet my goal of 165,000, 18 units at an average sales price of $375. As I scroll down, we've taken some general numbers here, and we're going to go say that, you know what, you need to have, in order to reach the goals that you set forth, you need to have 12 listing agreements signed. I did this one backwards, so sellers and buyers, but it makes the same difference. So actually, I'm going to change this real quick. I say I want a 12. That automatically adjusted this down to 6. Did that backwards. That's fine. So this is going to tell me that I need 16 listing agreements to sell 12 listings because there's maybe a 4% fallout rate, right? And across the market, we're going to move that down because we're doing pretty good. We're going to be selling almost everything we list. Let's say we'll only lose maybe 2. So I need that 14 listings. How many listing appointments are needed based on your prior experience? Let's say that you're taking in every listing appointment you're going on, you're getting even half of them. All right. So if I need 14 listings, I'm going to need closer to 24 appointments if I'm doing that. Let's say you're doing better than that. Let's say you need 21 appointments to get 14 listings. That's reasonable. We're going to do that. How many qualified buyers do you need to make 6 of them work? Well, right now we're pretty much closing all the buyers, so we only need 10. And let's see, how many buyer appointments do we need to get those? Probably 12. We're probably going to get almost all of the buyers that we need. And when I make these adjustments under listing versus buyer target and the number of appointments I think I need to reach those goals, by the default number, you can edit them. By default, when you look in there, you see 56 appointments and you go, oh my gosh, that's way too many. These are done by the average industry reports of how many appointments are needed to get a buyer. Our area, our company is much different. You typically get most of the business, you get in front of people, you're going to win most of that. So you can adjust this as you need. And then when you scroll down to the bottom, it's going to tell you, all right, based on these numbers, based on the number of appointments that you need to get the number of listing and buyers you need to get to reach the goals that you've set, you need a number of weekly prospecting activities reached. So you need to have at least 3 meaningful conversations with potential buyers and sellers every week in order to reach these conversion goals. That you need to make 30 phone calls based each week in order to make these. Now, phone calls could be follow-ups, they could be asking for referrals, they could be anything that is created from your other business opportunities. And if you look, you go, it's 1 call a day. I mean, that's not hard at all. You only need 1 call a day to reach your goal of 165,000 a year based on your current business. How many emails and social media engagements or social connections do you need? You need about 30. Again, so when I'm looking at weekly prospecting activity, I notice here that this says weekly, I need 3 meaningful conversations. Again, this is, are you interested in buying, selling? You are, let's meet. These are truly engaged potential clients that you're talking about, not just, well, we're going to sell one day, we'll keep you in mind. These are meaningful conversations. That means each week you need to make about 30 phone calls, which averages to be about 5 phone calls a day. Again, asking past clients for business, calling someone that's been referred to you by somebody else, someone you saw on social who's asking about agents and following. Whatever way you get a meaningful opportunity to call, it's 30 phone calls a week. 30 emails or social engagements a week. Again, if you go to that networking event and pass a business card around, that's going to count as several each time you engage somebody. The emails you're sending out, again, thanking people, asking people for business, newsletters, whatever it is. And then 30 or 5 handwritten notes a month. So let's say I'm good at that, or week rather. Let's say I'm good at doing 2 handwritten notes a day. I'm probably going to not do as many networking events or social, such as during COVID, and then I need to make a few more phone calls than I am, and I need to get at least 4 phone calls or 4 meetings a week. And so it starts to adjust here to show you what you really need to do, because this is all going to balance out and it's automatically adjusting based on those 4 criteria. And then it tells you down here, if you're doing these things, every phone call is worth $115 for you. Every meaningful conversation about real estate is worth $1,146 for you, and every appointment is worth $5,000. And when you start monetizing that in your mind and going, this listing appointment, even if I don't get it, it's still putting money in my pocket because it's one more meeting towards my goal. And the more meetings I get, the more business I get. All right, I'm going to hit save and continue here because I have set this page. And then it's going to take me to this page. This is a self-assessment page where, based on the numbers before, it's going to ask me to fill out a few things here. Again, this is an area to be true to yourself. This is an area for you to know what you need to work on so that we at CBE can best help you through this process. If you don't think you're strong in giving buyer presentations, please put that in here so that you and we know what to work on. And so when we go through here and look, okay, am I good at FSBO prospecting? I'm pretty good at FSBO prospecting. Am I good at getting listings? I'm actually pretty good. I'm going to get about 70%, 80% of the listing opportunities. How am I doing my SOI? It's only okay. I'm not good about putting contacts in my CRM, or I don't have one at all. Where am I at in this? And this will help you make those adjustments. And then your personal skills. So you're going to go through this questionnaire answering these questions. What happens is the system starts to project what you should be focusing on. And it helps, again, your mentor and coach and broker, and you keep on track with what's important and what you need to focus on. And then the system will help to decide to adjust to what your strengths and weaknesses are so we can make sure you're getting those business creation opportunities done well. And then I'll hit save there, and I'll get to this summary plan here at the end. And my summary plan goes back to where I was before. I increased what I thought I could make and how many units I needed because I'm doing way better than I thought I was when I set my goals at the beginning of the year. And I hit open and this is just going to show me what I can go back to in my dashboard, and then we go right back to start. Now, a couple things to look at when you get here. There's this little bell. If you see that bell, click on it. That means that one of your brokers, your mentor, manager, coach, peer, whomever is on here has sent messages for you, maybe reminders or tasks to be done, follow-ups, requests for appointments or something. Over here is the tasks. On this calendar is going to show you what tasks you have coming up. Remember, we set those tasks down here when we set dates here. So this will tell me on my calendar that March 31st is my actual next task. So if I go and look, I can just view all tasks. When I go and look, it's going to show you all my tasks, and then it'll be set by due date here and what's coming up next. And then over here, when you go to the menu, you can go look for updates and things. This is the conversation between you and your broker mentor. You'll also receive an email for this when the time comes in. And the last part of this is to go over here and drop down next to your little self where it says settings. And this is where you can change your profile picture in your, if you want to. The name needs to remain the same because, again, that's tying and pulling in from Coldwell Banker. We want the information to stay correct. You can set what type of emails that you're going to receive and how you wish to be communicated with. There is also a mobile app, or mobile ready site rather, that you can use to interact if you want to do those quick check-ins on your phone. That's cool too. But this is going to show you where conversations are going to happen and whether or not you want to be notified by email for each of these conversations. I would recommend have those email turned on because right now this platform is only you and your broker or mentor. So you won't have to worry about peers coming in there and starting conversation dialogue. We're not going to be doing any of that anytime soon. This will just be a conversation, private conversation between you and your broker or mentor to keep you on track to build business. I think that's it. It's actually a very simple program. I know I went through it quickly because honestly, I just want to give you an orientation. When you log in, it's very intuitive. You can click on all the buttons. You're not going to break it at all. The data that's coming in, you're not changing. You're not going to break anything there. The information that you're going to enter, the only thing you can change is your own goals, which you can always adjust up or down based on where you are in your year. So don't worry about it. Connect you to whomever you need to talk to get it fixed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you do use this system. It really will keep you on track. It really will help you increase your business. And we look forward to working with you in the future.